Yeah, why seeds? Why did we co-found it? Well, first, Nawe for
Mm,
having me share with y'all. So happy to be with everyone here watching. Appreciate you. And the why. And so, we are in this modern era. I'm standing right now in Coleraine, what is now called North Carolina, but this has certainly been an area that our ancestors have occupied and thrived in for centuries and thousands of years. And through those centuries and thousands of years, we had lifeways that sustained us. And these lifeways largely were and are always dependent on our seeds and our agriculture and just you know the work that it took to keep these heirloom vegetables, we call them now, but we have corn, beans, squash, we have sunflowers, we have medicine plants, and we have all these things that have created life for our ancestors for so long that in this modern era it's tough for us to connect with that, to not only connect with the actual seeds, but also with all of the things that are required to grow them. And so we wanted to create an organization that could protect those endangered seeds, connect them to our communities, while also generating the necessary support that it requires in order to do a community garden effort, which I'm so excited to hear that y'all are venturing into that space. Sure. Well, this is we are, this has been a long journey to get to where we're standing right now. And so we are in our first brick and mortar building that will house our operation. So we are in Bertie County, ancestral grounds of the Tuscarora, and my folks are right upriver. So we're on the Chowan River. The Blackwater and the Nottaway rivers meet at the state line, form the Chowan. So I'm deep in the heart of my ancestors' territory, as well as my husband Fix Canes and his family is from Bertie County. And after years of doing this work out of our tiny apartment and then a shed in our yard, we are finally, thanks to the generous support of so many, able to have a space that we can operate fully out of. And so this will be our first welcoming spot for the public. And so right now where I'm standing is where the operations of the seed packing will go and the actual mailing out of orders. But up front, we are putting up drywall and ceiling tiles. And so we're finishing the front to be a storefront. And we just cannot wait to welcome folks into this world, into this beautiful space, and to learn more from a lot of the folks that are excited to come. We have a lot of knowledge, but I think one of the things we're most excited about is having a place where we can share knowledge and make more connections.
day. Mm,
Absolutely. Yeah. So I always say that my work is in triangle. And so we
mhm,
have the Alliance of
mm,
Native Sea Keepers, and they're all different points. So Alliance of Native Sea Keepers, co-founder. I've been on our tribal council for now 13 years. I started as and still am the environmental initiatives chair, but recently in the past 2 years, also been added as vice chair of the tribal council. And I have some water work that I still do, that intersects with everything. But as my leadership in the tribe, a couple of ways. One is we were able to establish a community garden at our tribal center in Capron, which is just an hour up the road from here. So I'm even closer to our home base. And the mission of the organization is to connect ancestral seeds and life ways. And sometimes we do this and our I feel like creator has is up to tricks, has some has some things that happen that I think we didn't intend to, but that lead us down a path that we were supposed to be on. And for me, that happened in 2019 when during a corn planting ceremony, I accidentally crossed two corn strains.
oh,
A
wow.
Seneca white flower corn, excuse me, a Tuscarora white flower corn, and then a Katie Wheeler, which is a Seneca variety.
Okay.
Both very beautiful and very different. The Tuscarora white flower corn is very long, and the Katie Wheeler has beautiful blues and purples and more of a medicinal corn. And from that, it's evolved to, well, guess what? A Nottaway person crossed it. We've had lots of different Nottaway people involved in the stabilizing of that trait. And so we have begun to do exactly what our ancestors have done, which is cultivate strains and really get intentional on how do we select and why do we want to select this, and it's just been an activity that the whole community has been able to rally around. So it intersects in lots of ways, but not in some ways that I thought. And certainly it was, I think, divine, because it's really helped us get so much more close or to the very methods that our ancestors have done for thousands of years. We're like, it's like,
Uh,
yeah, it's been a trip. And we also
love
just want to say tons of Nottaway folks are involved with the Seakeeping organization. And so every step of the way here, we've had, just some of my community members have come through. They're here on a regular basis. And so not only are we doing the actual corn production together, but, it's just been a great community involvement to put some nails in the ceiling and
uh,
patch the roof and anything else that needs to happen. I really appreciate that. So a part that we don't talk as much about in other spaces, but it's perfect for this space, is that, it was always been about the seeds and the physical seeds, right? Like we have to keep planting them so that we can keep them fresh. We can't just put them on a shelf. Yet, you know, a huge part of this for us is that our agricultural calendar is our ceremonial calendar, and
mm,
that our ancestral just life ways and patterns and habits and month to month responsibilities and duties, and they all are so intertwined with what is happening with us emotionally and spiritually and in our community. And so by us being very intentional, leaning hard into our agricultural calendar and ceremonies, we have, been able to really do. We hear a lot about traditional ecological knowledge. Well, it is this in action. It is thinking about, okay, well, where is the moon and where is the sun and where are the Pleiades? Where are they in the sky? And so there's the celestial part to that, but there's absolutely information that we get from our environment that we have to be really dialed into. For example, this week, our June berries have popped, and that's one of our TEK teachings, which says that it's time for corn planting. And sure enough, that aligns right with our new moon and when we know that we need to be breaking ground. So as we've gotten so much more dialed into that and had the space and to do that, the gifts and the knowledge just keeps coming. And a lot of that's just because we're slowing down and we're able to make those connections and really be just, I think the best word I can describe is just be so intentional with that. Sure. Yeah. I mean, Sky Woman to me is the quintessential story. It helps to teach me about the importance of community and how we just have to link arms and and just hold each other. You know, quickest version is we all were living up in Sky World before we were running around on this planet, and all of us humans, our two-legged selves, we were up there. And this whole world was water. There were some water animals there. It's a very long story. There's chapters in between. And what ends up happening is Sky Woman, very curious, has a dream that it's time to pull up a celestial tree that is holding all the foods and medicines. And when she does, there is a hole that's left. And, either by curiosity or intention, jury's out. And I think sometimes depends on the situation. She goes through that hole, and down below, you've got all these critters that are looking up and seeing something they've never seen before. And instead of being fearful and instead of rejecting her, they work together to help her. And so first the geese fly up and catch her on their wings and buy them some time. And down below, you've got beaver that's looking for earth to bring up, and you've got a loon that goes and dives in and trying to help as well. You've got turtle that's like, I've got this back. You just need to put something on it. And then we have our smallest character, our small but mightiest character, muskrat, that is successful, brings up earth, puts it on turtle's back, and Sky Woman's able to land. And that story to me is just so much about the workings of our community and how interdependent we have to be and how we have to just work together in order to problem solve. And so,
mhm,
we're in it for a long road, y'all. But it's a long game, and we know that. You mentioned, I love that, working on building trust at the speed of love and trust, or relationships on that speed. And I think that's square where we are.
uh,
I mean, no doubt these are challenging times. Y'all know this. And, you know, I, I do a lot of water work. I do a
mm,
lot of the seed work, and have been in the climate justice fight for a long time. And one thing that my tribal leadership and my tribal knowings have taught me, that we've been in dark places before, and that,
mhm,
we have been in the shadows, we have come out, we've been able to tell our stories and share our life in ways that my ancestors and even just my grandparents would never have dreamed of. um, and yet here we are, we've set a lot of great precedents, and so we know this high level that we have set, right? So we know we have broken through a lot of ceilings, and that reality is in our current psyche. Um, and still I need to, I want to honor the heavy moment that we're in, and so we can't just bypass the heaviness and the challenges. Yet, I can tell you that when I look at all the seeds that go out of our tiny shed in the front yard. We ship all over the country, Turtle Island. We ship all over the world. I
Mm.
know that those seeds are going to homes and to communities, and that they're going to harvest vegetables, and they're going to have beautiful flowers, and they're going to grow herbs that are going to heal them. And so it's, yes, it's simple, but yet that's so radical that we are actually taking the time to slow down and care for something outside of ourselves. And it takes us out of that 24-hour doom cycle scrolling, which I know we all do. But at some point, when you take a walk in the garden, or if you're cleaning up trash by the river, or if you're, these simple acts really add up to just doing positive things every single day that are going to they're going to add up. And also, I know our time's going to come back. I know
Sure.
that the community that we're all building and shaping, like, we're not going anywhere. We're going to come back. And so, it's just, I think, a good time for us to take care of ourselves, take care of your community, take care of your family, get some rest and get strong, because we've got a long haul in front of us, but we also have everything that we need in order to fight what is at our footsteps. Absolutely.
Speak.
So yes, and so that is my medicine. As
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's something about being out on the water when I don't have my cell phone with me. I don't have
Mm.
anything with me, and it's just me on the water with pelicans flying by, or porpoise swimming by. And it's all of the training that I do, and all of, just all of that comes together in a moment that is flow, that is unconscious. Like, you paddle, 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 and you're standing up on a board, and you're not even thinking about it, but you've been working, you've been practicing so long that this moment of just pure joy happens. And that's where certainly I find that balance of just the busyness, but it gets all that energy out, because clearly I have a lot of energy, and so I need it to go somewhere. But those surf set boards that you saw, and please, y'all, check out the
Yeah.
videos. That is a training board that I was able to create a fitness program on when I was living up in Richmond. And also, this is just, we need to resurrect the habits that we find joy in. And so I think that is absolutely something that I was like, you know what? In January, I went on Marketplace, and I was like, are these around? Because now I have a space to put them in and have classes to go. And sure enough, like, I found one of my original boards, and then I found six others. And so I want to share that feeling of joy and elation and working out, with folks here. And then I absolutely want to connect folks to my love of the water. So either that's kayaking or paddleboarding or surfing, but we absolutely need to have those things that
Mm.
feel good. And yeah,
Sure.
I just want to spread that.